Hello guys, this is Donald's Movies, and welcome to the 60th episode of the World of Warcraft lore Q&A. Now this one really wasn't planned. I usually don't do like Q&As in a row, even though I did them before. I'm planning on doing this like once a week, but the reason why I'm doing this because I'm planning on doing like an entire week of lore, which I'm gonna explain in the video tomorrow. So I'm not going to like waste any more time. I'm just gonna tell you how you can submit your questions like I always do. So pretty much if you want to send your questions and get them answered in the Q&A, you can do so by sending them by the YouTube comment section or Facebook and Twitter, and the YouTube comment section is the best way to do it, as I can just go video by video and see which question is for which video, and then I can try to answer them. And if I don't answer them, which I can't really answer every question every video, feel free to leave them again. It's not spam, just leave it again and I'll try to get it on to the next video. So yeah, let's not waste any more time, let's just get into the question. So the first question is by Veratich, I guess. I don't know, I guess it's like a German name. What is going on with you guys with the Russian names and the German names? I just can't read it, so I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. So I have a question about the whole the Iron Horde wants to conquer everything thing. Now, in our timeline, Ner'zhul was checked by Kil'jaeden, who made him believe that the ancestors saw the Draenei as the enemy, so they started a war against the Draenei. But in this alternate reality timeline, Kil'jaeden goes directly to Gul'dan to corrupt the orcs. So why do they want to conquer Draenor and destroy the Draenei, beside the fact that they should destroy the Draenei first before going to Azeroth? Do you think this is just a gameplay reason? So, as I would answer most of the questions like these that ask about timeline things, I would say this is the alternate timeline, so a lot of stuff isn't really the same. AKA, this is a good reason for Blizzard to change as many stuff as they can, because they messed up a lot of the lore when they developed it for the first time. I recently even saw like a map on Reddit that they did. I mean, I saw it before, but I recently saw it again, and it's, I believe, from like Warcraft 1, and you can see like the entire map is completely different than to what it is today. I believe Stormwind was called something like Stone Wind instead of like Stormwind. So yeah, it's a lot of the stuff was really changed, you know, in the lore. So that is why they're trying to change as many stuff as they can. Although a lot of the fundamental stuff is still the same, and that is why we have the actual universe and like the alternate universe. So this one is the alternate universe. Now I'm gonna tell you what happened in the actual one. Now in the actual world, they attacked the Draenei because Kil'jaeden has been following them for thousands of years, and he wanted to destroy them, and that was like the main goal. But what happened later on was that Gul'dan heard Medivh and he led them to Azeroth in order to get the power of Sargeras, but in the end he was actually just tricked. If you want to learn more about that, I have a bunch of videos on the channel, but I also have the Gul'dan in a minute lore video if you want to check that out. But pretty much what happened in the alternate universe, it is a bit different. I mean, the ogres have been ruling pretty much forever. Orcs have been really rebelling for a bit, but it hasn't really been all that much. And you can see from like the Grom Hellscream episode, like they've been attacking and striking fear into the ogres, but they retaliated and they pretty much destroyed his entire clan, although he did rebuild after that. But pretty much for a long time they have just been slaves, and this is really the chance for them to be conquerors and be the ones that are ruling the entire world. And it is kind of completely understandable, especially for the orcs, because they as people value strength and power above anything else. And why would you be hiding and be in all these like broken clans and bending the knee to the ogres instead of just being the ones to rule? So that is kind of the main reason. Like they want to take control over Draenor, and then later on go back to Azeroth, which is by Garrosh, I guess. I guess that's like his idea. But even with that, why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to take control of over the entire world and then take control over another entire world, which would be amazing for them? They would be like the army of the worlds, as I guess as Gul'dan says, like the scourge of 1,000 worlds or something like that. Although the Iron Horde, that's not really their plan, that's Gul'dan's plan. That is not really gonna work out, but yeah, I mean, that is sort of like in their nature, and that is why they want to take control over the entire world, which of course we have stopped them by now. And as you can see from the 6.1 cinematic after the legendary quest, they pretty much go back to like the Burning Legion, and most of them drink the demon blood, although I'm guessing a part of the Iron Horde will like join us and will fight with us against the Burning Legion. Alright, next question is by Novak, and he asks, something has been on my mind for quite some time now, and that is gear in World of Warcraft is kinda too complicated. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but gear in World of Warcraft is much fantasy-like. I know it's a fantasy game, yes, but what I'm trying to say is that it's not everyone should wear big badass shoulder pads with a lot of spikes, skulls, and lava flowing through the entire gear set. I kinda feel like the gear should be a lot more simpler, like in Skyrim, classic steel, leather, etc. Tell me what you think. I mean, that is completely true, like I completely agree, but there is one like super important thing you have to remember, and that is the core of the game. Like in World of Warcraft, everyone is a hero, and that is exactly why pretty much everyone is like super buff in like the best shape possible, why everyone is like the commander of the garrison and the general or whatever, and why everyone has like such crazy armor. I mean, Skyrim, you can't really compare World of Warcraft to Skyrim for obvious reasons, because Skyrim is fundamentally a different game. I mean, it is an RPG where you are the hero, and yes, like millions of other people played Skyrim as well, so you have millions of Dovahkiins and Dragonborns, but essentially when you play the game, you're the only hero because it's a single player, so you're the only one that's actually, you know, being the hero. Even in Skyrim, a lot of the armor, like the end game armor, is like super, like with all these spikes and colors and everything. I guess it's called like Deidre or something like that. I really can't remember. I played Skyrim like 2 years ago or something like that, so I mean, even there, it's still pretty confusing. And in World of Warcraft, essentially everyone is Dragonborn and a hero, and you have multiple heroes in the world. Pretty much like the entire Orgrimmar or Stormwind is filled with all these heroes. And I guess a lot of this stuff can be fixed in like roleplay, because you know, you can roleplay to be like a peasant or like whatever you want, and someone can be a hero. But that is an issue as well, because let's be honest, like if you roleplayed before, you know that a lot of people roleplay to be heroes, because who wants to spend their time just so they can like be a peasant and be completely useless? Like everyone wants to be this like badass hero that has like killed Deathwing and like artists and whatever. I mean, of course, like a lot of people still do. I know a lot of people that still like roleplay like just the general population, like a general citizen of Orgrimmar or something like that. But a lot of people, especially the ones that are newer to RP, roleplay like these super badass heroes. So yeah, there is really not that much to it. I mean, it's an MMORPG, you just gotta deal with it, and no one, including myself, would like World of Warcraft to be like super simple. No one would like to have like 2 sets of armor that are like super simple and boring, like plain old boring stuff. And you also have transmog now, and you can like switch the armor to make it like look as you want, so I really don't see too much of a problem with that. Alright, next question is by Echo6, and he asks, why is it that the undead Forsaken cannot be returned to natural life? Even if a Forsaken is killed and resurrected, they can still be Forsaken. Alright, so you have to understand that resurrection doesn't really work as it does in World of Warcraft, like the actual game. It is nothing really but just a game mechanic, because in the lore, if you were doing something like walking in some zone and were killed by some mob, you would actually be dead. Like there is no other way around it. You don't get like a second chance, like, oh, it's not your time yet. You would actually be dead. Otherwise, people like Grom Hellscream, Orc Doomhammer, and Lothar would all be resurrected and would be like in Stormwind or Orgrimmar now. So I mean, yeah, it's a game mechanic, because obviously, you know, you can't just be playing like a super hardcore mode of World of Warcraft, because who would want to spend like 1,000 days or like 100 days on like a character and then having it die for some stupid reason and having to start all over again? And another thing is, in the actual lore, like the Forsaken, like they aren't just dead, I mean, they're undead. Meaning that, for example, if you kill a human right now, he would die, he would be buried, and his spirit would be in some other plane, which is not really completely certain right now. But long ago, like 15-20 years back, I'm not really certain of the times when the humans were killed, they were actually affected by the plague. So they aren't just dead, like they are the undead, pretty much the living dead. So in a sense, they're pretty much a new race right now in their afterlife, which is obviously a curse. I mean, you wouldn't want to die and then be resurrected and be this corpse. But right now, it is kind of working out for them when you think about it, because they have an entire civilization, an entire city, like pretty much everything. They're pretty much an entire faction of their own. So probably many of the Forsaken like are much more successful right now compared to what they were in the actual their like real life. So it is just a game mechanic in the actually like the game, but in the lore they're actually the Forsaken, and if someone actually killed them, they would die. Although recently they could resurrect their own. There's some sort of like necromancy, but if you were to kill a Forsaken, they would most likely die. Alright, so and the last question is by Bob Mad Sig, and he asks, what do you think will happen to our Garrison followers when we're done with everything on Draenor? Do you think they will follow us into the next expansion, or do you think Blizzard is going to drop them and forget all about them? Maybe Warlords of Draenor will have like a dark ending that destroys Draenor, Gul'dan plus demons equals not good, and all our followers die or something. What do you want to happen to them? And about the next expansion, if you get the Burning Legion or Queen Ashara expansion or maybe something else, which hero NPC do you want to lead the attack/defense against them? Do you want both factions to get their own leading NPC character, or would you want someone like Khadgar to lead both of them, or maybe both options? Alright, so I'm just gonna answer the last question. I honestly kinda like the neutral character leading the both factions like Khadgar. I know it's a bit cliche, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm kinda liking the entire storyline with that, because the Alliance and the Horde are kinda neutral there. But about the first question, it is something that I've been wondering a lot about lately as well, and I honestly think it will stay mainly as just old content, most likely like the farm from Mists of Pandaria. But instead, I mean, garrisons that are like actual content, that are actually fun content. I don't know about you guys, like when I played Mists of Pandaria, immediately once I got like the quest about the farm, like I did it like once and I got completely bored and like never returned to it. I know a lot of people have been doing the farm for ages. I just found it really boring. Like really nothing fun about it, so I really didn't like it. But garrisons on the other hand are like actually fun content. I mean, they're not bad. I know a lot of people have been complaining about them recently, saying how they're getting repetitive, which is true. I mean, they are. You're obviously just doing the same thing over and over again. But like fundamentally, the entire garrison concept is a good concept. I kinda like it. It's a lot better compared to the previous expansions, as you get to be the commander, you get to do your own thing, sort of, even though you gotta grind. They honestly just gotta fix the thing with the alts, like where I wish like they would make like the garrison account bound instead of like having a garrison for like every alt and you gotta do the same thing for over and over again. And for, like it's not a problem for me, but if you have like 10 alts and you got a garrison, like it takes like 15 minutes to do like your own thing just for your own character. And if you have like 10 characters, that's gonna take like an hour and a half just to do like the daily grind, which just gets boring for people. So they really just gotta fix that. But apart from that, and sort of the repetitiveness of the garrisons, I think the garrisons would be like the best feature in World of Warcraft right now. And I feel like instead of like ditching the garrison, I feel like we will get a new garrison in the next expansion. So let's say on some island, if the Eye of Ashara is the next expansion. Although I really can't like speculate what will be going on in the next expansion, mainly because Blizzard right now is just switching stuff left and right and like ditching old content and adding new content. So I can't even like say what's gonna happen with Grom Hellscream and with the Iron Horde, and I don't even know how it's gonna end. I mean, I have some theories, as I said in the previous video, but no one really knows right now what is gonna happen, especially how are we going to get back to Azeroth and get back to the next expansion. So a lot of people, for example, speculate that Gul'dan will return and do something on Azeroth, even though I honestly feel like we will kill him in the end of this expansion. And I really don't know like what will happen with the garrison. Like it can go two ways. It can either be like completely forgotten and be like classified as the old content, so someone who's leveling a character, he's gonna experience the garrison, or they can make like a new garrison for the new expansion, and then you can like maybe transfer some of the followers back to the other garrison. Like they can see which followers you had for your current garrison and then transfer them to the next garrison. So I honestly think that would be like a good feature to be added into the game, because I feel like we would be wasting right now, like we will be wasting time with the garrison if you're never going to see it again, which kind of sucks. So I think Blizzard will do something about that, and let's just hope they don't completely forget about it. Alright, so that is all I have for this lore Q&A video. Thanks a lot for watching. If you want to leave your questions for the next Q&A, it is pretty much as it always was. Just send them in the YouTube comment section, Facebook and Twitter. And also, if I don't answer them, just feel free to send them again and I'll try to do my best to feature them in the next video. Also, I will get a video out tomorrow. I want to do like an entire week of lore. I will explain everything in the tomorrow's video. I got a bunch of lore videos planned to do right now, so don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, as it really helps out the channel and keeps all these videos going. And also check out my Twitch.tv channel, as I want to start streaming at some point. I've been saying this for a few months right now, but I just don't have the time. You need to get a good schedule for streaming, because Twitch is an entirely different thing, but I just don't really have the time right now. I really can't dedicate a certain time to streaming, but I'll try to get to there, so just feel free to follow the channel so you can stay updated. Alright, thanks a lot for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and see you next time.